Adam bamboozles Sally, and Nate's confession sets off a firestorm. The Young and the Restless. Today on The Young and the Restless, Tucker makes inroads with Ashley, Devin, and Lily fire Nate, and Nick's left perplexed. At Chancellor Winters, Nate tells Devin and Lily there is something he needs to say to them, in private. Billy asks if it can wait. Nate says no, it affects what they're all doing here. Devin wonders why Billy and Audra have to leave. Nate agrees they can stay. They'll find out the truth soon enough, and he wants them to hear it from him. Nate says it's about your plans to take Chancellor Winters public. I haven't been operating. Nate reveals that he's been meeting in secret with the CEO of another company and sharing details. Billy fumes, are you serious? Lily asks why he'd do something like that. Devin says, this is about you and me, isn't it? Tucker finds Adam in the office at Jabut. They shake hands as Adam remarks that he heard about his dramatic return. He assumes Tucker is here to see Jack, but he's actually headed to the lab to see Ashley. Adam asks what he thinks that will accomplish. At the Abbott house, Tracy tells Ashley that Harrison found Tucker's gift from the tea ceremony in the trash. She wonders if her sister really does think he's a changed man after his brush with death. Ashley and Tracy laugh out loud at the thought, and Ash calls him a narcissist. He's a master manipulator. He always has been. She recalls he was supposed to be so in love with her, yet cheated on her twice and hurt people she cared about in business. Ashley remarks on the coincidence of Tucker showing up right after Diane. Tracy's stunned to hear that her sister believes they may have been involved. Ashley explains it's complicated and asks her sister to just trust her. I don't have any proof, yet, Ash says as she heads out. Before they were soap stars, at Jabut, Tucker congratulates Adam on getting out from under his old man's thumb. Adam remarks on Tucker not being there for his own son and questions if he even knew he had a kid. Tucker says of course he did. Adam thinks he's wasting his time with Ashley. Tucker muses, maybe I am, but I'm going to try because I love her. When you really love someone, you realize the mistakes you made, and that there's no barrier you wouldn't try to overcome to make it right. In the park, Nick tells Sally he's been thinking a lot about her after their conversation at the nightclub. Sally's been thinking a lot about it, and there is something she'd like to ask him. Can we maybe spend some time together this weekend? She wants to do something fun, just the two of them. Nick jokes that he's pretty busy and then asks what she had in mind. Sally teases skydiving and pinball before suggesting they go out to the lake to see the fall colors and go skinny dipping. Nick won't be able to think about anything else today. Yes, I would love to spend some time with you, just the two of us, away from everything else. Whatever they decide to do, he wants to keep skinny dipping on the table. Sally grins, you have my word. At Jabut, Adam can't concentrate and flashes through his romance with Sally. He picks up his phone. At Chancellor Winters, Nate insists this wasn't about getting back at Devin. Audra asks who the CEO was and how much he's shared with them, and Devin wonders, how much damage have you done? Nate insists it wasn't about inflicting damage, he was trying to create an opportunity. Devin guesses this CEO offered to put him in charge. Nate had to create the chance from himself that Devin refused to give him. An upbeat Sally joins Chloe at Newman Media. Chloe learns that she ran into Nick and the universe is sending them a message. We decided to take this as it comes. Chloe thinks it's wise to get things out in the open. I like Nick, he's a good guy. Chloe's so glad to see Sally happy and moving on from the worst thing that could have happened to her or anyone else. Sally frowns. Chloe knows how complicated this is. She just mentioned Adam and her sunny smile disappeared. Sally's been honest with Nick about her feelings. Chloe warns the guy has to have his limits. She thinks Sally needs a mature grown-up to date, and Nick is confident in himself that he doesn't want to be somebody else's rebound. Sally sighs. It's so easy with Nick. They made plans for this weekend, and she's determined to focus on the positive things in her life and not the confusing ones. At Chancellor Winters, Billy tells Nate he not only betrayed them but also his mother, Catherine, and Neil. Devin asks if he was planning to sell his stake in the company to the other CEO in exchange for being installed at the top. Nate won't deny it. Devin can't believe he'd do this over some stupid issues between them. He literally handed him this opportunity with zero business experience, and he lied to his face, and everyone else here. He's sure he was running into Audra on purpose to get more information. Billy is sick to his stomach. Devin realizes that this is why Nate and Elena are having problems and guesses that the only reason he came clean was because she showed up and threatened to do it herself. Nate insists it was his decision to tell the truth. Lily recalls that it was Nate's idea to speed things up when Tucker came into town. Devin gaps, "This person you're selling us out to is my father?" Audra looks at the floor. At Jabba, Ashley is stunned to see Tucker and calls him out for ambushing her at work. This is just arrogance. Tucker won't just walk away. Ashley tells him to stay the hell away from her, takes a call, and storms off. Tucker follows, and when she disconnects, he tells her she has every right to still be angry. Ashley sarcastically thanks him for the validation. She runs down the cheating and him trying to take over her family's company. Tucker reminds her she once told him they could stay together if he underwent a miraculous change. Ashley scoffs about him trying to revive her belief in miracles by landing a helicopter in the yard. Tucker insists he's changed and wants to take her to dinner to prove it. At Chancellor Winters, Devin asks Nate, "Did my father come back here to try and get control of this company or not?" Nate refuses to divulge the name of the CEO. Devin fires Nate and storms out. Audra asks Nate how much confidential information he has shared. Nate sighs. Enough for them to make a move. All they need is the date it's happening. Lily groans. She has to call Jill and tell her what's going on. She asks Audra to hold off on filing the paperwork. Audra exits. Lily informs Nate they were doing the IPO so they could pursue their collective ideas, including his. If someone else became the majority shareholder, it would have become their vision. What Catherine and Neil built would be taken from them. You were willing to do that? Why? He was robbed of the ability to perform surgery, so when they offered him a job here, he was so grateful. Billy asks, "Really? That's how you show it?" Nate continues, saying he threw himself into the job and felt that old desire to excel. Devin shut down his ideas, and over time it became obvious that something else was going on. He was rejecting ideas he knew were good because Lily and Billy told him so. Billy says none of it justifies stabbing them in the back. Nate grabbed at the new opportunity that presented itself because he knew it was the only way to prove himself. Lily replies, "It wasn't the only way, Nate. It was a choice." Nate muses, "So, I guess that's it." Lily intones, "Get out." Nate goes. At Newman Media, Chloe brings Sally an invitation hand-delivered by courier. Sally makes her hand it over and opens it. It's an invitation to dinner tonight signed N at the Grand Phoenix rooftop. Chloe guesses Nick couldn't wait for the weekend. At Jabba, Ashley tells Tucker he has zero trust in him. He pleads with her to hear him out at her daughter's restaurant. Ashley throws up her hands and says, "Okay, fine, but only because I want you to stop stalking me." After that, he must steer clear of her. Tucker promises. He just wants a shot. At the penthouse, Nate is relieved he caught Alana before she left for Baltimore. Everything she said forced him to take a hard look at what he was doing. He told Devin and Lily what he'd done. He didn't tell them who it was because he just wants it to end. Alana asks what happened next. Nate describes the scene. "The point is, I did it." He confessed everything. He did it for her. At Chancellor Winters, Audra asks Lily if they should keep the framework for the IPO in place. Lily will have to discuss it with Devin. Billy muses. "Once we find out who Nate was feeding this information to." Devin shows up at Tucker's suite and says he's going to ask him one question and he wants a straight answer. Tucker says, "Sure." Devin asks, "Did you come back to Geno City to go after Chancellor Winters?" Tucker gives him a quizzical look. At Society, Ashley waits for Tucker with her arms crossed. At Newman Media, Nick shows up looking for Sally. Chloe tells him he just missed her. She's headed to his little rendezvous on the Grand Phoenix rooftop. Nick looks puzzled. Sally arrives on the rooftop of the hotel where a romantic dinner for two is set up. She's stunned when Adam, not Nick, appears. "I'm glad you can make it,"